going to talk about Doctor Who now, because it's the last episode of the 4th series of Doctor Who tonight, and of course, it promises to be explosive.
Some fans fear we could see the end of what they consider the best Doctor ever. But how does David Tennant measure up to his predecessors? Let's remind you.
To learn everything too quickly, you'd have no reason to keep me alive.
Critical. I'm regenerated.
See, isn't it? As soon as you start showing all the old Doctor Who's, everyone starts saying, well, he was good.
Yeah,
I like
and who was
one.
that? And I don't remember him.
We'll talk a bit about that now.
Doctor Who expert Murray Lang is here, and so is superfan Karen Davis. Karen, you won Doctor Who Mastermind in 2005.
I did, yes.
You know everything there is to know.
No, I got things wrong.
Well, between you, Murray Lang and Karen, because Murray, you're editor of Doctor Who Adventures, the official BBC magazine. So welcome. On that first point, David Tennant, he's been brilliant. Viewing figures are great. Lots and lots of people watching, not just teenage boys. Is he then, Karen, the best Doctor Who ever?
Oh, gosh, that's a horrible question, isn't it? For some people, he probably is, yes. I think you always kind of go
Well,
for
who's your favourite?
Well, I think you always go for the Doctor you grew up with. And
Yeah.
for me, it was a mixture with John Pertwee and Tom Baker, but I think it's Tom.
It's a fascinating one, isn't it? Because, like you say, it's so linked to the age you are as to which one you prefer. 'Cause for me, I have to say that John Pertwee clearly it fitted in time-wise, with possibly when I watched it most.
Yeah.
What about you? Where do you sit in that?
I grew up with Tom Baker, who was fantastic. But I think David Tennant's like a modern-day version of Tom Baker, because children just adore him. They want to be his best friend. They would follow him around. So I think David Tennant's got a bit of Tom Baker about him.
He's got a real sense of mischief, hasn't he, and fun
twinkle
about him, which has made him particularly popular. I mean, Karen, we don't know what happens this evening, and I'm glad that we don't know, that we haven't had a sort of insight, because it would be terrible to not be able to tell anybody. I think we're going to be as excited as anyone else. What is the future for the Doctor? It seems about time we had a female Doctor.
Oh, Lord, no.
Oh,
no,
OK.
No, I don't think
Controversial.
so. Yeah, very controversial. But
Why is that? Why do we react so...
I think it would change the dynamics of the programme so much. You know, the Doctor is your hero, and you've got the female companion, and that works, and it's worked very well for 45 years. So I think it would just change it too much. It wouldn't be Doctor Who anymore.
So, Murray, it follows a certain format. Russell T Davies has obviously changed things, but do you think that Karen's right? It has to go by certain set rules to continue being successful.
I think it does, and I think, like this episode last week, the exciting regeneration at the end, people weren't expecting that. It pulled all the punches, and everyone's going to be watching tonight. It's must-see television. You want to find out what's going to happen.
We're going to watch a bit of this regeneration scene now. And of course, it's one of the features of the whole idea of Doctor Who, which just works, doesn't it? It's just such a wonderful idea that he can disappear and come back.
It's the maddest thing, and I think a lot of children watching might not be aware about what's going to happen to him and wondering who's going to pop up in the TARDIS next.
Do we know? Was that always going to be the idea that the Time Lord would regenerate and be a new person, or was that simply a way to get around the fact that the original Doctor Who wanted to leave? Do we know?
It was a plot device. It was never meant, in 1963, that we'll do so many years and then we'll change. William Hartnell was getting older, and they decided that, we'll flip a coin. Do we continue with the programme, or do we finish it there and then? And luckily, somebody had the brainwave to say, right, we'll regenerate.
And what a brilliant idea.
Yeah,
and it's worked, and here we are in
course,
2008.
In other genres, in soap operas, people die and then they come back.
Yes.
There's not even any
Or they just
pretense
substitute.
there.
Yeah,
Can I
same
ask about
character.
the relationship between the Doctor and his assistants? Because I think it's become much more of a relationship, as in man-woman relationship over the years, than it ever used to be. Am I right in thinking that? You're more conscious?
I think if you watch some of the older episodes, there's always been that kind of man-woman relationship.
Sort of free song going on.
Yeah, and they've always been the best of friends. I think, and certainly with the Donna character, they've just had the best time, haven't they?
Yes. What do you think?
No, I think you're right. I mean, going back to Joe Grant and Sarah Jane Smith, it's always been, this is my best friend, and there's always been there's attraction. There's a reason why she travelled, the companion travels with the Doctor.
Can I just ask you both, what would you hope happens this evening?
Oh, who knows?
Well, I think you probably know a bit more than we do. But Karen, what do you hope?
I hope that we get to see more of David.
Yeah.
I hope that it's just an alternative universe and he's really still out there travelling.
And that he can get rid of those pesky Daleks.
Enjoy the show tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. It brings us almost to the end of breakfast. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Goodbye from us. Before we go, let's leave you with the weather with Chris. Have a good day.